Alright, because they're coming out with more map reworks, I want to rank the maps on whether I think they need a rework or not. And these are my tier lists. Obviously, desperately need one. Please rework. Good to do with some... Good to do... Oh my god. Could do with some work. There you go. Maybe some slight changes. Fine map. Never touch it. And I want this quite quick because, god, there are so many maps now. Circuit. I don't think it's desperate. I hate the fact that it's a sniper map, but at the same time, what else is it going to be? So I would like it to get some work, which would make it less unbearable to play into Widowmaker and stuff. But I also understand that it doesn't, like, a full overall desperate rework is just probably not possible for this type of map. But I'm still hopeful. The Rado, honestly, maybe some slight changes. It's not perfect. The Rado is a bit of an outdated map to me. I don't think it's actually that bad. It just is, you know, a bit one-dimensional of a map and a bit of an awkward map. But I actually don't hate the Rado. It could do with a couple little changes to it, but nothing crazy. Havana's kind of the same as Circuit. I would love a lot more work done to it, but I also understand that the map's design is kind of hard to get around. It's just always going to be a sniper map. But I think it probably needs more work than Circuit. I think it needs a little more. First Point is so boring and poor of a map. It's just a poor design. And third is abhorrent. Like that, like castle position is such a silly little spot that shouldn't be in a map ever. So yeah, probably needs it more than Circuit, but I also understand the rest of it. No, do you know what? I think Havana's more reworkable than Circuit. It's like desperate. Dragon's still not perfect. I think some slight changes, especially to third. Third feels really weird. I don't love third that much. Second's okay, but I think it needs a way to access the small room on the left if you're attacking. When you're attacking, the only people that can really get into that room are like Tracer and then vertically mobile characters. It's very difficult to get in there, and it's such an important piece of the map. But otherwise, yeah, probably some slight changes. Maybe I'll bump it up actually. Rialto's pretty fine. I don't love it. I think there are, again, the bridge on second is disgusting. First is very open, and third's fine. So maybe it could do with some work. I think there's more room to explore with Rialto. So, and that's the difference. Okay, Route 66. Route 66 is an okay map. I'm not a massive fan of it, like personally, but that's not what this tier list even is. What would you even do? I think first could use a teensy bit of route, like a little bit of work. There's a little bit of some weirdness on that first choke. I don't hate second. I know it's a little open, but I don't mind that. That's sort of the map style. I actually don't hate second that much. Third could be a bit weird, but it's actually not that bad of a map. I won't put it in fine. I think maybe some slight changes, especially to first. There could be some work done, and then a couple patches throughout where there's a couple spots where I think it does need a little bit, just some shifting around, some boxes, some opening, some tightening of like different doorways, like just stuff like that. I think Shambali needs heavy work. Route 66 is fun until the enemy team steamrolls in defense and you lose first and low-key second point. Steamrolls, wait, yes, that's like an escort problem, especially though when you get momentum's very important. And they can carry a lot of momentum through, especially on a map like Route 66 where the spawns are going to be really far back. So like you can get staggered between that first and second point where one of your players is ahead and one of your players is all the way back. And okay, valid hate for Shambali. Shambali is a very, very poor map. And I don't even have that big of an opinion in terms of actually playing it, but objectively this map is really bad. First point is, okay, I can't even highlight points. The whole thing is really bad and needs a whole overhaul. This map is as bad as Parisia. It like not maybe as bad, slightly better, but that's not saying much. I think second point is a complete joke. I actually think second is such a joke of a map. Like that is insane that was ever made. It's uncomfortable. Okay, yeah, use the word uncomfortable. Uncomfortable is the perfect way I would describe this. This map is such an uncomfortable map to play on throughout. On attack, defense, no matter what characters you're playing, no matter where you are on the map, it's quite bad. So yeah, desperate rework, probably gonna go number one spot, to be honest. It's like, I dislike Circuit more than this map, but this map needs more work done to Watchpoints recently actually had a couple changes. I think it maybe could use a couple more, but I think it's fine. I think this map is fine. It's not gonna be everyone's favorite map. I don't think people are gonna love Watchpoint. It's very good for like dive characters, and by specifically vertical dive-in characters. People who are going to like to play Genji, Echoes, Winston's, D.Va's good here, Boar. These characters are really, really good on this map. And so if you don't enjoy those, you're not going to enjoy Gibraltar. But for being a really dive-heavy map, it's pretty good. So I don't think you'd want to change too much. I don't love Blizzard, and I don't think it's that bad. I think it probably could use with a couple changes. I think first point, trying to attack first point is horrible. I think that is one of my least favorite parts of a map in the entire game. That actually might be one of my least favorite parts of a map. And there's this little flank room on the left when you're attacking that doesn't even really do anything. It's just got a mega in it, and then you just walk out into the exact same spot as the main choke. They need to just blast a hole on the right side or something, allow you to access the indoor coaster room. This needs to do a lot of work. I'm talking about just first, but I think second's also quite bad. Second suffers from parts being condensed and then suddenly opening up. I think that is something that doesn't always work very well. Like, you're in a small room, you walk out of a door, and suddenly it's open and there's no cover. That, I don't like that type of design. So, yeah, probably decent. Sure, I'm bumping it up. I think Blizzard World needs more work than a map like Rialto. And in saying that, Rialto's going down. I think Blizzard World needs more work than these maps. Definitely. Another thing about it. Okay, I can vote get in a rework, so I almost don't want to rank it, but I think it does need the work. And I don't even think the changes they're making are perfect. We'll see the whole changes. I don't think they showed everything. Like, really, they didn't show everything. They seem to skip past all the key points, so hopefully those are just changes they haven't shown yet. But the first choke is really egregious. Second point is the most disgusting high ground abuse in the entire game. Third is just got no options in terms of like being able to flank or take any angles. It's very, very linear, and that's not very fun. Hollywood. I don't like Hollywood. I think it could do with some work. First point, again, it's sort of a gross little choke. There needs to be some way to access those stairs on the left. I think there needs to be some way to get there without having to expose yourself as much. Second point is really gimmicky, and so I don't think you can even change it that much. It's why I'm not going to rank Hollywood that much higher. Like, yeah, second point's kind of weird. That's sort of the draw of that map, I guess. That's sort of the point. I like playing Faro on this map, but it could do with some work. King's Row, okay, I mean, this is everyone's favorite map, apparently. Somebody mine. I think King's Row is pretty fine. I'm going to put it in some light changes if I'm being, like, objective. Hollywood you like until Last Point. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I actually think I prefer Last Point to all the other ones, but, you know, that could be a hero difference. I think I prefer Third Point for some reason. Isn't that funny? I think First is by far my least favorite on Hollywood. Yeah, with King's Row, I think it's not a perfect map. It really isn't. It needs some slight changes. I think First can be really hard to break that choke sometimes. I think Third Point is really bad and gets really, like, under talked about how bad Third Point is. Yeah, Third Point's just like really bad. If any map needs an elevator up to high ground, it's that map. You know, there are like jump pads and elevators for all these new maps. I think it's actually like King's Row actually needs it more than the other ones. But I mean, whatever. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I just don't like Third Point that much, and I think First can be a little hard to break through the choke. Midtown? Yeah, please, I don't like Midtown. I really don't like Midtown. I can't even describe what I don't like. First Point's easy. First Point's terrible. Like, it's really just bad. And there's almost no other word for it. It's just really bad. It's like, actually, it's not even a choke. It's not even a point. It's not even a, like, it doesn't even feel like a game. Like, Midtown First is bad. Second, I can get behind. Second, I can kind of get behind. And Third Point's just fine. But that First Point is, I don't like attacking or defending it. You like Midtown? I mean, fair enough. But that First, I don't understand it. It feels like it breaks all the rules of how a map should function. I can't actually even draw you a line of where I think the choke even actually is. And where the, like, lanes go. It doesn't even make sense. And then the train, okay, the train on the top is funny. I think it's funny. I think it's a funny part. But there's not even like a reward if you somehow got to the end of the train. You're not even in that good of a spot. So it'd be funny if the train could keep going and you could end up in like the defender's spawn area. Like, whatever. I'm thinking way too hard about what you could do with Midtown, but I think its First Point needs the most work. Neon Junction, I have actually, okay, yes, it's been out the whole season. I still don't think I've had enough time on this map. I think heroes I can judge quicker than maps. It's actually fine. It's a fine map. I don't like some parts of it, and so I think it needs some slight changes. Like third point is really weird. I don't know what the hell is going on third point. There's just like different spots that either lead to nowhere or just don't really make sense as to why they're there. Like if you go into replay and you look around Neon Junction, you'll just find these rooms and windows, but everything else is pretty good. I don't mind the train gimmick. I actually quite like First. I think First just works really well. It's quite fair, I think, to retake as well. You come into it with a disadvantage, but I've actually been able to retake Neon Junction more successfully than any other payload map, which I like. And visually, yes, visually it is a gorgeous map. It is a really gorgeous map. There's some just odd choices. Overall, pretty good map though. And probably doesn't need too much work. And Barney. Okay, I mean, Nabani, guys, okay, I don't know how many people know this, but Nabani has had a lot of work, and it's actually pretty solid. I actually think Nabani is the same as Gibraltar now. I think I've done a lot of tillers on this map, and I personally do not enjoy Nabani. As a player of the game, I do not enjoy Nabani. But when I'm looking at the design of these maps, and which do I think actually needs the reworks, I don't think Nabani needs more work. That might be the hottest take I've ever had in my life, but Nabani is fine. It's fine. Compared to all the other payload maps, it is fine. Now, first point's weird, but that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point of it. I don't know why everyone wants to push the little room from the stairs on Nabani. I think it's one of the stronger points to take, and that's why. But if you can't take it, people don't realize that, and they don't change. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again. If your team comp can take it, like there'll be different, like if you're maybe playing like that Malga Orisa up there into someone like Winston, you can really easily take that space. But if it's the other way around, you can't do that, but people try. So if you use your brain a little bit, Nabani becomes a little more fun. There's a lot of funky routes you can take, a lot of weird places on that first point, but I actually think it's a fine map. I mean, Paricio's getting a pretty heavy rework, so I'm just going to put it in Desperately Needs one because it does. This is another one of those maps where highlighting what is wrong with it is almost impossible, because for something to be bad, typically it needs to be next to good design to contrast the fact that it is bad. Nothing on Paricio even sticks out because I can't find a good design choice on the map. It's like choosing the worst song on a really bad album. It's like, I don't know what you even mean. There's a point at which there's nothing usable. And that's why it looks like they did a like third point on the rework. I don't know if you guys have seen it. The third point that they seem to have changed. That is a new map. That they just remade in the engine. They deleted it. They literally swiped over the old third point, deleted it, and just made a new one. Preacher is a gorgeous map, and I think that's why people feel it should be a good map. It's a really, really pretty map. It's a really pretty map. That's why I think it gets a little bit of points there. But Antarctic got a rework. Was it last season? I think it was last season. Pretty good rework as well, if I'm going to be honest. I already enjoyed this map because of the characters I play, but it did need a rework. I think I actually think it's fine. It's a really congested map, and that is its gimmick, that is its thing. And for a congested map, a close range, like a brawly map, it's pretty well designed. It's got all the things you'd want on a brawl map. Where maps fail is when it's not that, oh, you can only play dive on it, or you can only brawl on it. It's if even doing that thing isn't really designed well. Like Involved is pretty good for dive on second, but it doesn't even feel good to dive on this map. And so that's where I say it needs its work. Basan is also getting a rework, so I would have always put this up here anyway. I think this is the weakest of the control maps. Some people like Basan. I think it's okay to play. I played it a couple times today. It's like fine, but I really do think there are some glaring issues. I think Mecha Base is pretty bad. It seems to have gotten the most changes, but I really don't like Basan. And then Downtown has that weird problem where you've got these like really tight lanes that just open up into nothing with no cover. So what I mean is when you're attacking, you've kind of got the corridor, which is obviously left or right. I don't really know where you are, but you've got that weird corridor and the main, and they're so congested. And then as soon as you get out of them, you're in this really open space where you can kind of get shot on by like snipers. It's just a bit of an odd choice. It's kind of where designs are clashing each other. Mecha has that same problem. it's really brawly in that main section. But if you put a sniper on the like bridge over point, they could just have a field day. And so it's like, well, what do you play for? Personally enjoy Basan and don't necessarily get why it's going to rework. I think it's just got a couple big outliers. I probably wouldn't have put it top of my list, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's just, I think that it's Sanctuary, that's what it's called, was probably the better one, but still has some problems. The change they made to it is like literally all it needed. Added that extra spot on the like mega side. Like, I don't know how to describe it. That extra spot they added is great. So yeah. Ilios. I like Ilios. What would you even change? Even if you were to change Ilios, what would you even change? I like Well. I think the gimmick is whatever, having the Well in the middle, but I actually really like Well. I think Well is probably one of the best control points in the game. Ruins isn't that great. I don't love Ruins. I think Ruins can be a bit of a weird, kind of uncomfortable point, but it's not horrible. And then the other one, Lighthouse, is fine, but it's not that great. I think Ilios could have some slight changes. I put Ilios in a Rialto area where overall the map is fine and it's functional, but there are just some areas on different parts of it that could use some rejigging, some rechanging. So I would put it on par with Rialto. It's funny, I've got none and never touch it. I wouldn't even put Lijiang. I love Lijiang, but I would not even put Lijiang. Lijiang has some issues. I really like this map, but I actually think I have to be objective and I have to put it in slight changes. Control Center, I like Control Center. I know Control Center might be some people's least favorite one, but I think Control Center works really well. I think the retake can be a bit of a pain, but it's not that bad. You'd increase the area around Ilios well so the hog doesn't dominate the whole map. Oh, I know what you mean. Possibly, but yeah, it can be a 9. Yeah, maybe. You could do some slight changes. Yeah, some slight changes to the well area. With Lijiang, I can control that, it's fine. Night Market, I think that's what it's called, is really good. I think it's called Night Market. Night Market's really good. That one I am a very, very big fan of that map. That's a pretty perfect control point. It's the actual tower one. Why am I forgetting it's called Gardens? I think is what it's called. That one is the one I think is probably the weakest. It's got these really wide parts of it that are just kind of a pain for a lot of characters. There's a lot of boop spots, which is fun. I think it's fun. But I think at times it can feel actually aggressively too focused on that boop. Like if they're playing like Doom's Farahs, Boars, Lucio's Briggs, these characters can get like actually a ton of boop kills. Environmental kills are fun when they're kind of earned one-off kills, but I think Garden has a problem of it being like actually almost too easy to do. Anyway, I've slowed down a lot on these maps. It's because these first maps, I feel like it's oddly the maps that go in like slight changes. I feel like I have way more to say about. Nepal, I don't know if it's hot take. I think Nepal needs a lot of work. Nepal is one of the weaker control points. I don't hate it as much as I've heard some people hate it, but I don't love it as much as some people love it. So maybe I'm just being a weirdo. Just put in Nepal like kind of in my middle. I think Sanctum's very, very weird. I don't hate it. Okay, other people got to probably have this problem when you cap Sanctum, and then you have to hold the space where they just have there's one choke and then 2 doors on either side. That's probably the worst description of it ever. Feels terrible. I do not like holding the poor Sanctum once I've got it. It's quite bad. Though, what's the one with the bell in the middle? I forgot what it's even called. The one with the bell. That one's fine. That one I'm a fan of. I'm happy with that one. And then Village, a bit too open at times and can be really annoying to retake. It has a little funny gimmick where in a poor Village, you want to try get to that really tight corridor space as fast as possible and beat their team and spam them out. And so there's such a weird gimmick there where it's literally a race. And if you just don't have speed, you have to give up that part of the map because you will never be able to walk out of that room. You will never be able to walk out of that corridor. You just get spammed. Yeah, I mean, it's some work to Nepal. Oasis is one of those maps I actually ranked pretty lowly in terms of like my least favorite maps. I need to get quick these days. I'm taking forever. I could speed this. Oasis Gardens is chill. Oasis Garden is chill. Maybe some slight changes to it. I know why it's taking me forever. It's because with the control maps, I'm having to go one by one through all 3 maps and then summarize them. Okay, but God, it's slight work. City Center is probably my favorite. I think that one's actually fine. Very little changes needed to that one. But then I think University is disgusting. I praised Control Center from Legion Tower for being a good brawl point, but University's terrible. Like, University is really bad. The walk back on University is really bad. I think I would like some work done to Oasis, please. Thank you. I think Smurf's fine. You know, actually, screw everyone. This is like my favorite map of the game. Never touch it. This map is perfect. Yeah, on serious talk, it's actually pretty much perfect. Like, I actually don't think there's that many glaring issues with Samoa. If you don't enjoy Samoa, that's one thing. But I can't even think what is each of its problems. It's pretty easy to retake a lot of these points. There's the 3-lane theories, great across all of them. This is a ride. I actually think Samoa's will never touch it. So, okay, Samoa's not actually my favorite map. It's one of my favorites. It's probably like top 3. I think Samoa is just such a great map for me. I don't know why. It just hits all the spots. But even removing the bars, I think objectively this map has pretty much found its spot. There's no area of the map that I'm thinking, oh, that's a bit weird. Oh, that's a bit odd. I think it's pretty chill throughout the whole map. Like, even these in fine, I don't want changed. I could still think of a couple spots where it's like that could maybe be, oh my god, that could maybe be widened or narrowed down or something like that. But Samoa, I just think is pretty great. All right, the push maps. Push, my favorite game mode. Just thought I'd throw that fun fact in there. Coliseo, I think actually the changes I made ages ago are pretty good, but I think I want some slight changes. But I don't know what. Now, do you know what? It's fine. This map is fine. It's got its weaknesses and it's got its strengths, and I think that's kind of just part of the map at this point. I don't really know what you would even change. And if you change anything, I think you're changing too much and you're losing part of the map's identity. So I think I just keep it in fine. I think Esperanza, never touch. I love Esperanza. I think this could be my favorite map. One of my favorite maps for design reasons. I'm like one of my favorite maps for design reasons. I mean, the things that you might complain about are what one person would love. Like, and it's not poor design, it's just sort of a matchup issue where some characters are just going to struggle on this map. But I think Esperanza is one of the strongest maps. You think that's a crazy take? I really think this map is, I think it's great. I think it has the best second section of any push map, if you know what I mean by second section. I think it has the best second section of any push map. Its worst part is probably the first part. I think the first part is a little open. It's a little open. Do you know what? Fine, I put it fine. It's a little open. And it's not necessarily bad, but a little open. But the map actually, like, is that even that bad of a thing? First can be a bit awkward. I'll say that. I don't know what they change, but it's not perfect. I'll put it there. New Queen Street is probably the weakest of the push maps, in my opinion. I think it suffers with a really bad second area. Even the third area is quite bad. I think I like first. I like the first sort of section. I don't like its like the second and like third parts of it. Probably could use some work. I think, how do I describe this? That really open space as you come out of that like mega bridge room probably could use some cover. Your creature's your favorite push? Hey, I mean, what character do you play? Like, I mean, that could be a character thing. This map's disgusting. If you say ball, then I wouldn't be shocked. This map is so good for like ball players. But I think there's some problems. I think also the high ground is quite an abusive position for people attacking Wu Young. That kind of makes sense actually. Jump, that fits. Yeah, decent work for second, third. Renasapi, I am a big Renasapi fan. I think Renasapi can be frustrating for some players because of it has quite dominant sightlines on that second segment, but I think they are easier to approach than it is on New Queen Street. Which means I think it's fine. I think you could do with some slight areas of improvement though. I think you could do with some slight areas of improvement, but I really enjoy this map. There are a lot of rooms for you to play, so you don't have to face the long sidelines. That can be really oppressive. But there could be some slight changes here and there. I quite like the fact that you can flank round and behind everyone by going over that, like, what are they called? The like water wheel things. You can go through that thing and flank around. I think that's quite funny. Anyway, the Flashpoint maps. I think the Flashpoint maps are great. I think the Flashpoint maps are all great. I mean, well, I made a video about this, but I think it's all great. But let's try to rank these. Atlas is one of my favorites. I think Atlas is really strong. New Junker is probably my least favorite, but it's because it's visually not that great. I think these are all... The map team... God, they need more money because... because people hate this game mode. And so they spent so much time making these 3 maps amazing. Like, you don't understand. They genuinely, I think they've put more time into making the Flashpoint maps better than they have like any of these other maps. It has actually paid off. Like, I think these maps are genuinely so well designed. Just, people just don't want to accept them. I like literally think these are all perfect. They're all perfect. I think that's my list.